Hello and welcome to the grand finale of the Women INC Masterclass. I apologize for the delay. My apologies for the delay. We are in a different location today. We needed to rearrange, and so we are here and we are live. When you are coming on, please let me know if you have been up to date with the masterclass or if you're just finding us today. If you're falling on this masterclass by accident and you are not registered for it, there was day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 before today. So the best way to get the link to the full masterclass, to register, to get all the emails, replays sent to you by email, just request in the comment section to get the full link and my team will share it with you. Okay, we are kicking off today with a draw once more. We have been on a roll with the draws today. So if you have your currently watching day 5 graphic and you want to share that, tag me on Instagram, tag me here on Facebook. This will enter you into a draw. And we're going to be drawing the name here any second. The team is just tallying up. So you can also share this live stream directly. If you do share though, make sure you're letting me know in the comment section that you shared so that the team can get it and we can make sure to get you in the draw. All right, Heather, hello. So good to see you here. Nicole, hello. Margot, hello. Kyra, Sharzad. Hey, Sharzad, so good to see you. Melanie, Heather, hello. Maria, Zainab, hello, hello. Daria, Anna, so good to see you. Hi. Fiona Moore, hello. Carolyn, Marcia, Bridget James, Ling in the house. Hello, Amanda, Lori, Sonia, hello. Lucy, Heather. The graphic is in your email. So if you registered, you would have received an email an hour ago. And in the email, it says that we're live now, or it says currently watching day 5 live. Now we're going to do a launch of a draw now. And then there's also going to be another draw at the end. So if you're sharing throughout, if you're like, hang on, Melanie, let me watch this. Let me make sure I want to share this before. You never know. You can share throughout. As soon as you feel like, oh, okay, this is worth the share. Someone needs to hear this. Please share. Let me know in the comment section that you have shared and we'll put you in the draw for the end of the live stream. Okay, Kevin, are we ready?
I don't know. Do we have drum rolls?
We will need some drum rolls.
I'm a stickler for the drum roll.
Kevin is a stickler for the drum rolls. Carolyn, you got engaged today. Congratulations. We're so happy for you. Congratulations. Oh, the champagne bucket of the universe. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, Stasia sending so much love. Thank you to all of you who've made it live. Thelma, so good to see you. Shannon, so good to see you. All right, it is time. Hello from Madrid, 11 p.m. Okay, Sarah has kicked us off with the drum rolls.
And the winner is...
The winner is...
Stephanie, you pronounce it?
Stephanie Bouillot. Stephanie Bouillot, you are the winner of $5,555 in Alpha Bucks. So you can use this towards any Alpha Femme program or masterclass. You can use this towards the Alpha Femme experience. You can use this towards the House of Haute if your application gets approved. So congratulations. I'm so happy for you. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. Now, all throughout this live stream, you can still continue to share. Your name will go in the draw and we will have another draw at the end of this live stream. Today is the finale. This is a big deal because today I'm going to have a major conversation with you about what it is that you're doing in your life. And I'm going to talk to you the way I wish someone would have talked to me just a decade ago. Because the fact is, I don't think I knew and I don't think I understood the reality of what's possible fully. I didn't really get it. I knew I could build something if I worked hard. I knew I could do something, but I didn't actually understand the power of what was available to me in the world. I didn't know anyone who had yet done something so crazy that could tell me, Melanie, you have no idea what's possible. You have no idea what you could do. Like, it's insane what's available. And I wish someone had just a little earlier. If I had understood just a little earlier what I could have been doing, I think about every day since I've been building this business with this energy, how I felt in my life, my purpose, my identity, who I am for my family, who I am in my relationship, who I am, like just who I am in the world. And I think, gosh, I just wish everyone knew, if you got it in your bones, if you got it in your veins to be doing something like this, like it's time to build. Because we are in one of the greatest, most pivotal, most extraordinary times in history, with social media being the way that it is, with entrepreneurial, like the entrepreneurial spirit rising and soaring in such an extraordinary way, new ways of learning, new ways of growing, so many different ways to succeed. No one needs to be left behind. If they feel their journey is the one of success, like there is space for everyone. Like it's the craziest thing. I remember coming into this entrepreneurial world and thinking, how am I ever going to create something that hasn't been created? Or how am I going to leave my mark or become a part of something that isn't already there? Like, how do I become as big as? And there were people on my mind that I would look at and think, well, you know, all the spots are taken. You know that feeling? I remember people saying stuff at events I'd go to. I'm going to be the next Tony Robbins, and I'm going to be the next. And I was like, I don't want to be the next anybody, but I want to be the first something. Is there any room to be the first something? And it felt like all the spots were taken until I realized not only that all the spots weren't taken, but there were so many spots available. And I've seen people come out of the woodworks from nothing and have this understanding that I had, which is that there are so many spots available. And instead of getting so in their head about most of the successful people are already there and I'm just getting started and I'm too late and I don't know how to do it and I don't have the credentials, like I've seen the people that did not let that stop them go and create the most extraordinary businesses. And beyond businesses, like movements, like in the health department, the fitness department, and in the relationship departments, and in money, business, like you name it, there's no cap. Like there's always going to be room for innovators. There's always going to be room for women of influence. And this is what this whole thing boils down to in the end, is that Alpha Femme is more than just becoming an influencer that gets paid to have a really good spiel, a good elevator pitch, you know, a really good framework, step-by-step thing that you plug in and you sound like everybody else and you look like everybody else, but you make sales. Like that's not what I do. Not because it's wrong. Like if that's what you do, that's awesome if you love it, but that's not what I do. So it's so important for me that you know that when you're interacting with my brand, and that you're not expecting at any point that it's going to be like, come learn this like step-by-step plug-in thing. Everybody sounds the same. Everybody does the same thing. When you look at my clients, you would not be able to tell that all roads lead back to Alpha Femme. Like they don't look the same. They don't sound the same. They've all got a very distinct thing. The only people who actually look and sound like Alpha Femme are people who don't work with Alpha Femme, who think they can just look at it and copy it and that it'll work the same way. But the people that actually work and study with me have a voice of their own, and that's the best part of it. You learn to have your own voice so that you can leave your own mark, so that you can do something that's so big and no one in the end goes, oh yeah, but that's the same as that. That's the same thing as that. Of course it works. It looks the same. It sounds the same. It's the same thing. Obviously there's similarities if we've got similar tastes. You know, some people have similar color palettes or similar visions, but that was the case before we met. It's not like they changed it. It's sometimes you meet a person and they're like, samesies. That happens. So I want to encourage you in this module to really take on the feeling of like, there is no limit. If you decide that you're meant to have your place, you have your place. It's that simple. Like you really get to own this. And what it's about is leadership. Like real leadership of yourself and your ability to take action on things that most people procrastinate, most people overthink, most people fear, most people wait, most people try to be perfect before they get started, most people just jam, and then you are able to be this strength in the middle of the chaos of your mind. It's normal that there's going to be fears. It's normal that there's going to be thoughts, that there's going to be things, but that you are on a mission to say, I'm not going to let any of that actually stop me. I'm going to learn how to embrace what I'm going for and go beyond and beyond and beyond, and not just become content just because I'm the best in my inner circle. So a lot of women come to mentor with me, especially women that are already generating multiple six figures a month, $1 million a month, women that are really making big moves in their life and in their business. They come to me because they say, it's easy. It's actually easier than I thought to get complacent. Like, I don't want this to be the end. I don't want this to be the best it's ever been, but I'm the best in my circle. And I've noticed that since I started talking about that, women have come out of the woodworks, even in the 6-figure mark, even at the multi-5-figure mark, and said, you know what? I am actually the best in my circle as well. I make more money than anybody in my whole life. I make $20,000 a month. No one's ever made this. My parents have never made this. I already feel like I out-earn everyone. And that creates kind of a comfort for me. And I get cozy in that. I'm already beyond more than everybody else. And then other people come to me and they're just paralyzed. They're like, because I make less than everybody else, it feels like I can't show up in my full authenticity because I always feel like I don't belong. But it's like, well, that's a trap. So it's about becoming the leader. It's about becoming the person who's willing to raise the bar regardless of the mind chatter. And it doesn't matter what level you are in your business, whether you're just starting off and there's a lot of fear, or whether you've been doing this for years and you feel like you've conquered almost every fear. There is a fear that's stopping the next level of growth. And it's like, do I face that? Or do I just keep playing safe with where I am? Do I just keep looking like everything's good while inside being so frustrated and annoyed because I know there's something more I could be doing, but I don't want it to look like I'm struggling, and I don't want it to look like I just want it to work. I just want it to work. That's how most people feel. But to actually be working on it and to dive in and to lead yourself in the tough stuff, that's what makes the magic. That's what really takes us to the next level in our lives and in our businesses. So when we're thinking about sales, we're thinking about leadership, we're looking at this from a very different perspective. Instead of it being like, I'm trying to get people to buy from me, it's like, I am the leader of this movement, of this company, of this angle. I'm the leader. I'm the one. And I'm not just selling what I sell. I am the reason that multiple people's businesses are also working. There's like a compound effect that starts to happen. So we touched on this in one of the modules, which is like, when you have a really sharp business, you make your industry better. And so what I love and what has really taken my business to the next level is this moment that happened for me when I got grounded in Hawaii. So in 2020, my sister, Kevin, and I had rented a house on the big island of Hawaii to create content for a few days. And while we were there, Hawaii shut down. They grounded all the planes and they said no one can leave Hawaii. And it was either we stayed in that house or we stayed nowhere, because all the hotels were closed, all the Airbnbs were closed. But we had spent exponentially more than I was comfortable with paying for to be in this place. It was so expensive, and we had no idea how long we were going to need to stay there. I was very nervous about the price of this. And I was kind of faced with a decision at that point. Stress and freak out, worry about lack, worry that I might not have enough, worry that I made a mistake, try to find a place that was less expensive, like freak out, or use this as the greatest opportunity of my life and grow and lead. And that's what we did. I decided from that place that Alpha Femme was going to go global, not just international, but global. And that changed my entire business model. It changed it from the inside out. So the difference between an international business and a global business is or even just a small business, which is what a lot of people will call a woman-owned business, small business. The difference is that there are no limitations. So before I had limitations about what time should I go live? What time's the ideal time to go live? All my restrictions were very trendy. You should post on Instagram between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. You know, those kinds of limitations. When I went global, my business was no longer about that. My business was, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. It doesn't matter where I'm in Hawaii right now. If I post at 11 o'clock at night here, it's 11 a.m. in Europe. My clients are all over the world, and I started taking on this belief that my clients were all over the world. Slowly but surely, clients started popping up in Europe, in Japan, in Australia. Clients started popping all over the place. Soon enough, we had clients in so many different countries, in all different time zones. Alpha Femme was a global brand. I stopped having the kinds of issues in my mind that were like constantly reconnecting me back to my hometown, or just to the people of my age range, or people that have my exact life situation. Like, it stopped being about that, and it started being about women of the world. Women of the world, having influence for women of the world, not just women in my time zone that had similar pasts with similar fears, but I let myself have a global mindset. It changed me. It changed Alpha Femme. And there are so many things I started doing entirely differently, feeling like I was owning that I was the leader of a global brand. Now, instead of having a company that was trying to sell a product or a service, I became the leader of a global brand, becoming a woman of influence for women of the world. Can you already see the difference, what this might have done in my body? And so everything started to matter more. My brand mattered more. My presence mattered more. The way I showed up on screen mattered more, and not the superficial stuff. It's not just it mattered more like I needed to have perfect makeup, or I needed to be wearing the top of the line things. Like, it was my presence, the way I spoke, the way I was available to give everything I had, my confidence, my absolute giving everything that I had, my knowing that I was there for the right reasons, my knowing that I would do whatever it takes to help my clients, that I was building a strong reputation for my brand, that I was going to be the one. Like, I'm the one, and I'm doing this, and my business is the one. And so when you're building $1 million brand, what I realize is it's got to be bigger than just you and your company. You have to feel like you're leading something. It can't just be, how do I make $1 million? Because no extraordinary business on this planet ever got created by the person building it asking themselves, how do I make $1 million? It's, how do I help these kinds of people? How do I transform this problem? How do I lead this movement? How do I become stronger, more capable? How do I become recognized for this gift or this talent? And then as I do that, and as I serve the world, then it starts to spread, and that's when the money starts rolling in. I've often shared this, but it was harder for me to make $100,000 a year than to make $1 million a month. And the reason it was harder is because my mindset when I was trying to make $10,000 a month was that I was trying to make $10,000 a month. Me, my deserving, my work, me. When it became that I had a business that led a movement, that served women on a global capacity, all of a sudden I opened my energetic range, and money started coming in from all time zones, all over the world, all at the same time. And this change, I just saw Brooke say, share now. Thank you for sharing. This is where my business really started to change, because I started understanding the power of the buyer on a whole other level. I go live in Hawaii at 11 o'clock, and it's totally a different time zone in Canada, and it's totally a different time zone in Europe, and Bali people are getting me on the right time zone, and all of a sudden I'm seeing the world differently. I'm touching people all over the world. I speak to you, and you make an individual decision about my product. But at the same time that you're watching it, she's watching it, and she's making an individual decision about my product. And at the same time, she's watching it, and she's making an individual decision about my product. And when I allowed myself to open up the possibility that it's the buyer's job to buy, and that I just need to set the sale up properly, that it's not my job to convince, that it's my job to set up the sale properly for a correct buyer experience, all of a sudden people started buying from the same live stream, in the same hour, in the same minute, in the same second it felt. Payments kept coming in like this. Because what does it take for a woman in Europe in the morning, and a woman in Hawaii at night, and a woman in Canada, and a woman on this, all at the same time, to be watching a live stream and to individually make their own decision that this is correct for them all at once? That's not my job. My job is to set it up. Your job is to say yes to yourself. If I know how to communicate with you effectively, it's none of my business how fast people can buy and how much people can buy. I had once calculated we were making hundreds of dollars a minute. I went from being the kind of person who made $100 a day if I worked with all of my might, to being a person who made $100 an hour for a one-on-one coaching call, to being a person who made hundreds of dollars a minute while I was awake or asleep 24 hours a day, just because I set up my business properly. If you've been in this masterclass, you've seen, like, I'm not bombarding you nonstop. I'm sending you an email to give you the replay. I'm sending you an email an hour before, and I'm sending you an email so that you know that we're live. That's it. I've got a countdown on my Instagram and a countdown on my Instagram or my Facebook stories. That's it. I don't feel like the person that's supposed to end up in my world needs constant reminders, constantly being pushed, constantly being sold. That doesn't work for me. I would be so annoyed. I would unsubscribe during the masterclass. This has actually happened to me. I have unsubscribed during masterclasses. Give me what I need and let me figure out if this is for me. This is how I've led my business. But there's a mindset for this. There's a way to position what you're doing with absolute conviction. There's a way to say what is needed, like what are the things that are the most important, and can you leave the rest out? So many people are working so hard, but they're adding all this fluff, all this stuff they think they need, and it's not the income producing activities that actually matter that are being done. It's all this other stuff so that they can feel like they've worked hard enough, so that they deserve the money. I want to simplify it for you. And the simplest way that I can explain it for you, it to land in your body, is it's not your job for them to buy. It's your job to set up your offer in a way where it's their job to buy. That's such a different role. And this is how I teach sales. So in the Art of Sales program, we're going to go really deep in all the ways that you can set up a sale, but the buyers buy no matter what. The buyers buy, because I will tell you, especially if you have a product or a service-based business, the last thing you want is to push a person to buy, because then you also have to push them through every step of the service. When I first launched the Alpha Femme brand, the tagline was "She who leads herself." That was the tagline for the Alpha Femme brand, because I realized if she can't lead herself to the sale, she also can't lead herself to the work. You've got to have the kind of client that buys the same way they utilize the product, or else it's hard for them to buy and it's hard for them to use it. We don't want that. The ideal buyer is the person who's going to use the product or the service properly and be a shining star, raving fan, testimonial person that's like, I got it. If they need you to be able to even buy it in the first place, they'll need you to be able to use it. It's the confidence and the conviction that the product matters to them and that they're going to use it, that needs to be in the room for the people to utilize the product properly. And so I found that when I just attract the correct people that lead themselves to buy, they also lead themselves to utilize the product properly. And then they lead themselves to refer more people, talk about it, or just get raving testimonials. Like, they lead themselves, and then I can serve more people. And ultimately, if we want a scalable business with recurring and reoccurring revenue, where we're constantly building on what we've built instead of it being stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, you need an extraordinary product delivered extremely well to people who know how to use it, who will use it, and who are then proud to say they bought it, they used it, and they loved it. If you have that, The sky isn't even the limit. And it is difficult with the wrong mindset at first to believe that you can have that. But I do not know of an excellent business that can survive if you don't believe this, if you don't feel you have this. And to me, this is what matters in helping you build your brand, in helping you build your business. If you're the leader, if you take this role on seriously, without anybody having to give you any kind of validation or even permission, because this is the biggest one. No one's going to give you the stage. No one's going to tell you you deserve it. No one's going to tell you, okay, you're allowed, now you're the one, now go for it. If you can lead yourself to knowing that you're the one that's meant to do the thing you're meant to do, and then you train yourself, and you allow yourself to hire a trainer, a coach, a mentor, a trainer, so that you can train to become qualified, there's nothing that can stop you. The way I see coaching and mentorship, it's not something that you're learning so much as something that you're training for. Of course, you're going to learn along the way, but learning has a different feeling. I've got to learn how to do this is different than I'm training for this. I am training to build this $1 million brand. I am training to become one of the greatest leaders I've ever seen. I am training to hold my clients in a higher way or to develop a product in the way that I want. I am training myself. I'm training my speaking. I'm training my thinking. I'm training my emotional intelligence, because you're actually not just doing this with your mind. You're actively training for the glory. You're training for the moment where you got it. It's second nature. It's part of you. You got it. It's an inner game. It's between you and you. This is the best part about it all, is at the end of it, you look back and you say, I trained for this. And the conviction that you can affect change onto someone else or influence someone else to go for their dreams is so much higher when you know you started training for it and then you became as capable as you imagined you would be, and maybe even more. You created even more than you thought you could. That's what we're aiming for. So when we're selling, when we think about selling online, we're actually not physically present with a person. We're not able to show them, they can't touch the product. They can't experience it up close. There's different markers that make it that a person feels like this is the thing that's for me. And if we're in the way, our energy, our fears, our unwillingness to really be clear about what we're offering because we're afraid they won't understand, all of the things that we put in the way is like trying to sell something that we're hiding behind a box and saying, no, I promise you'll like it. I can't show it to you, but I'm sure, just take my word for it. Trust it. Trust me. It's really good. I can't show it to you though, but you'll like it. There's a way to be transparent online and to demonstrate your product in a way that really just lands for people. But you've got to train. You've got to train for it, because at first it's our blocks most of the time. And this is the case whether you are just starting or whether you are scaling, because there will always be another level that you're training for. It doesn't matter whether I am live in my We Are Alpha Femme membership and I'm speaking to the people in there in that membership that are like, you know, I want to have a $10,000 month and I want to have a 6-figure business and I'm training for that. Or whether I'm on a Voxer with my $500,000 clients and they're like, I want to fill this room, or I want to have $1 million month, or I want to have $1 million launch. Like, it doesn't matter. It's the same training, just for a different level. And it's got to be more precise, and it's got to be just a little more intentional. And we've got to target just a little more specifically, but it's the same things, just sharper. And this is what's happened for me. I've refined these skills over time, and I really do believe they're all important. Unless all you care about is being able to speak something that makes people think they need the thing that you're selling and then they buy it, and that's all you want to do. You want to create a need and then they buy it. You want to create a need and then they buy it with your words, instead of they actually comprehend the use of what you're doing and they're buying it with their intellect. They're buying it with their power, with their buyer power. And then you've actually got a powerful client, a powerful consumer, a powerful customer. Like, this is what this is what the game is really about for me, is selling to people with buying power, with influence in the world. Like, I don't just want the easy sale. I want the sale that was the perfect sale, the sacred sale, where I nail the product and the delivery and the buyer nails the purchase. That's the vibe. And when we have businesses like that, we have so much of our energy back. Now, this sounds so wonderful, but the thing is, we all battle with our need to get results now. To do something where we get a pat on the back right now that proves to us that we're good enough or that what we're doing works, and that's our biggest issue. But the thing is, it's our issue in everything in life. Everything in life that you need to have validated right away has a lot less chance of having an exponential effect. You take a relationship coaching program and you want your partner to be shoving everything off the kitchen counter and making love to you underneath the spotlights with a single red rose in their mouth tonight after one session, is the same thing that's causing that you're having a fight tomorrow thinking this isn't working. You know, you go to the gym one day, you haven't had any of the things you want, you're hoping that you will have lost a pound today because you didn't eat the bad thing today and you went to the gym today and you feel ripped in the morning. You know, it should have worked. It didn't. Oh, well, what's the point? You know, 1 week at the gym, if you don't look the way you thought you should, or if the weight scales don't work, you want to give up. It's normal. But can you have a bigger vision? And this is why they say, like, the visionaries, the leaders, the visionaries, the ones that can see further than just the immediate validation. That's what it takes to build $1 million brand. You've got to make a move, and then you've got to refine the move. And then you make another move, and then you refine that move. And then you make another move, and you refine that move in an environment where your leadership is expected, in an environment where you feel and you own every day. You're owning it a little bit more. I am building $1 million brand. I am training to build this, or a multi-million-dollar brand, or $100 million brand, or $1 billion brand, wherever it is that you are on your journey, to own it. To not just hope it comes to you, to know that you're a part of its co-creation, that you've got the strength and the capacity to be the reason this thing is building. That's what we need. That's what we want. So what I want you to contemplate in this moment, and even beyond this masterclass, is, have you taken on the identity of the person who's training to build the vision, whatever it is? You're single, you're training to build the greatest relationship of your life, even before you've met your partner. You're training to build $1 billion brand, a multi-million-dollar brand, $1 million brand before you've even started in business, because what you're doing today is not a representation of what you'll become. I look at my live streams, I look at my offers, I look at the way I spoke about my business in 2017, and I'm like, this girl built this business. This girl that did not even know how big this was going to become. She's the one I give a standing ovation to. I'm just keeping the ball rolling. But she was the one who had the power and the strength to say, I'm going to learn, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to refine this. And it was exponential. It became faster than me, bigger than what I could have done if I had tried hard. I often tell my clients, you know, I don't think that I could have had a goal of creating the business this way. I don't think I could have had the goal to build the business to this size, because I would have sabotaged it. In my head, I would have said to myself, wait, how many people do I need to sell to? Where am I going to find the buyers? Where am I going to find the people that want to buy this? How am I going to nail the sales? How am I going to write a good enough website? How am I going to write a good enough post? How am I going to sell well enough online? How am I going to do it? How am I going to say it? Where are the people going to come from? How am I going to do it? I would have gotten in my head. There's no way I would have had the strength to just lead myself to this. There's no way. I would have questioned it every step of the way. And then on top of that, let's say I would have given myself a goal. This is why I actually want you to think bigger than you've ever thought in your whole life. If I would have given myself a goal A real goal, like, okay, this year I have to make $1 million. What if I would have made $1 million instead of 20 million? Because if my goal would have been 1 million, now that I know what I'm capable of, I would have succeeded. The year I would have given myself a goal of 20 million or of 1 million, I would have hit that goal. And then what? I would have said, yay. Sometimes our goals are keeping us small because we're choosing goals that we believe in. And they're all based on who we are right now instead of training to become greater than we've ever been. And then finding out what we're capable of. What I did, instead of saying my goal is to hit $1 million a year or $2 million a year or to double my income this year, instead of talking like that, the way I've always seen it was, I am going to give my absolute best. I'm going to find every little place I can refine and grow and train for growth and evolution. I'm going to celebrate every milestone. I'm going to celebrate it all. I'm going to love it all. I'm going to love my life. I'm going to see it like the greatest gift of my life, everything that happens to me. And then I'll find out what I'm a match for. And I have blown my own mind over and over and over again. Because instead of focusing on the numbers, I've focused on the product. I've focused on the people. I've focused on the clients. I've focused on the delivery. I've focused on my strength, my ability to pivot, my ability to take feedback and course correct and get better. And so it was written in the stars that we'd get here. Sales is not just a linear thing. Someone finds you and then you give them enough that eventually they buy from you. Some people will find you and buy from you in the same second. That's happened so often in my business because it's like you're exactly nailing it for me. I'm a buyer. I've been asking for you. I've been wanting to buy this product for a while. I was just looking for who was going to deliver it to me. And I choose you this fast. And it's also happened that people take their time. They watch, they think, and you're just creating relationships. Now they're going to pay off when you least expect it. In the middle of the night, when you're fast asleep, cha-ching, a payment will come through because someone will have decided that's their moment. As a global brand, I believe that all over the world, all the time, there's someone contemplating. They're thinking, you know what, I think I want to do that Alpha Femme experience thing and I think I'm going to do it. There's someone talking to their partner and saying, I want to send in my application for House of Vote. I think it's my time and I want to do it. There's someone saying, this is wild, but I'm doing it. I'm signing up for the We Are Alpha Femme experience next week or when I get my paycheck or when I do my thing. I believe this is happening all the time, all over the world, on all different time zones. It's happening while I'm live. It's happening on the replay. It's happening from videos I posted last year and the year before. My digital footprint on the internet is alive. And it's bringing people in all the time because it's everything I've done for the right reasons. Everything I put out there with all my heart. There's not one thing I'd want to take down or that I'd be ashamed that's out there. Even my earliest stuff, I'm so proud of. You might see an overexcited, jittery person who says, too much. I see the making of $1 million brand, $100 million brand. And the thing is, you can't untrain my mind to see that when I look at people. It doesn't matter who I'm looking at. I think to myself, if this is what they're doing now, imagine what they're going to become. Because my expectation is people don't give up because there's no way I could do what I did. And there's no way I could continue to do what I do if my expectation were that people quit or that people don't show up or that people don't do it or that people don't move. It's my conviction that's actually built my business. It's my knowing that people are going to do it that's attracted the people that also know they're going to do it. Your conviction in your product, your conviction in yourself, your ability to own that you've got a global brand, that your clients are across the world in all time zones, that they're reading your posts, your emails, watching your live streams at any time of the day when you're awake and when you're asleep, and you're available to receive money all day, every day, no matter what. And this is what it means to be the CEO, the face of a multi-million-dollar brand. It means you're the leader of something. Because of you, your industry does better. Because of you, Things are moving. You are the one that's pushing the world forward in whatever it is that you're doing. You're rewriting history for your family lineage. You might be the first in your family to become a millionaire, a multi-millionaire, and you take on that role and then you train for your next level. Not in a way where you could succeed or fail, in a way where there's only just getting better from here. Grateful for where you are, excited for where you're going. I call this the walk of evolution. 1 foot in gratitude, 1 foot in desire. 1 foot in gratitude, 1 foot in desire. And you're going to see the selling differently. It's like it's a sacred sale. So I want to give you a thought about how I see selling. I see selling like when someone buys something, it's actually their first yes. It's the first thing in motion for whatever it is that they've declared they want to start moving. I think about my first yeses in the personal development world when I barely had any money. What it meant when I said yes at that level is that I believed that with this work, I would become more. Just the fact that I believed that and I was willing to make a demonstration of that with a payment did something to me, in my mind, in the world. Then when I became more successful, I remember the first time I had $100,000 month, I spent the entirety of my $100,000 month on a mentor, the whole amount. What do you think that tells my subconscious, my nervous system? Now, I didn't do it to tell my nervous system. So let's just be clear. I don't want you going like, okay, then Melanie, I'll spend because it'll tell my nervous system, right? No, it's not like that. I knew, I was so clear that there was no other way than succeeding. So when I said, I'm investing this because I'm investing in my betterment, immediately what my body got was, I believe in me, because how could I agree to do this unless I believed in me? And then there's a ripple in the universe because you go first, the universe responds. So I believe the sale is sacred because if you're in relationship coaching and your clients are willing to pay you, they believe their relationship can get better. And that's a demonstration of that. If you're a mindset coach and someone is willing to pay you, it means they really believe that their mindset can get better. And they're willing to invest that money that they've worked so hard for back onto themselves because they believe it. Somewhere it's a representation of belief in self. If you've already built a huge business, and this is why I've often seen the clients that are actually the ones that take the longest to make a decision are the ones that are already successful. The ones that have the most success tend to hold on to the links the longest because they're afraid they're going to lose what they built. And so spending the money is no longer about, do I believe in me? It's like, yes, I believe in me, but do I believe I could be more than I am? Or is there a subconscious part in me that thinks this may be the maximum? Like when you've made $200,000 in a year or a month, how do you get to believe that you could do more? Sometimes that's wobbly. It's not just as easy. And I know beginners tend to think, you're going to make a certain amount of money and then it'll be so easy to believe that you can make more. But that's not always the truth. A lot of times the block is, will I ever really be able to make more than this? Or is this the cap? And so if you've been kind of plateaued at $100,000 a year, $100,000 a month, whatever it is, and then it's like there's an investment to be made that requires your belief that you could eventually make more than that. Sometimes you'll catch yourself being like, do I even believe I could make more? Even with support? And so we find our blocks when we're buying. If a person is, not wanting to, if a person wants to change their body and they're actually willing to hire a coach, a nutritionist, not just the quick fix pills on the internet, but like the support to do it. That means somewhere in their subconscious, they believe that they could change their health. And so the sale is sacred because the sale is the first step in motion towards the goal. It's like, I believe in me enough to invest something that I really care about into this. My time, my money, like I care enough to invest. That changes everything. If I believe enough in myself, my business, my money, that I'm willing to say I believe in this enough that if I train myself, it'll work, that means something. And so to become extraordinary at sales is to become the kind of company that is the company that people that are ready to believe in themselves join. It's not about being a good salesperson, because sometimes being a good salesperson in the way that we know it means selling a person that's not ready and that's not going to do the job and it's not going to do the work to buy something that they don't need because they're not even going to do it, but you manage to sell to them. And to me, that is not being a good salesperson. Being a good salesperson is the person who can set up a business where the ideal buyer is attracted and buys and it works. That's the greatest salesperson. The one who creates the amazing product, who knows who to speak to the greatest person, and who does not need the people who would never use it to buy it. That's not even part of your business plan. So how good of a salesperson do you need to be if the person you're speaking to already wants to buy what you're selling? It's not about becoming so good with your rebuttals and being able to handle rejection and being able to handle, I'm actually not interested in doing any of that. I'd rather you come back when you're ready. Give us a decade. Come back when you're ready. I want to sell to the people who want to buy. And developing that skill is a very different set of skills than what most people are teaching on the internet right now. And it's why a lot of people have a lot of lack of faith when it comes to buying things. They're like, am I going to get what I asked for? Am I going to get something like... I have the funniest story that just came to my mind. I'm going to tell you. I don't know why this came to my mind. A couple of years ago for Christmas, Kevin bought me a set of skates, like to go skating. And I think they were like $180 or something like that. He ordered them for Christmas and they never came for Christmas, but we were checking the tracking and they were supposed to come. And so eventually these things show up and the box is this big. And it's the tracking number we've been waiting for. So it's like, is it a key that's inside? Are we supposed to go get them somewhere? Like, what is it? We unboxed this tiny little perfectly designed pair of skates that were this big. Now it 100% said on the website that I would enjoy skating. I think they thought I was a pixie or I don't know what, but it was like, it was so well done and it was so well sold. And Kevin was like, oh wow, showing pictures of skating on beautiful things and all the romance. And he was like, oh, you know what, this would make a really beautiful couples event. Like he got sold on the vision and it showed up, it was little tiny skates. And so obviously we sent pictures and, sent pictures of the website and we were able to, show that it was not okay. And now I have a pair of mini skates hanging in my Christmas tree. But the fact is, sometimes we're afraid to buy because we're like, am I going to get what I wanted? Or am I going to get something else? Being a good salesperson doesn't mean anything if you don't have a good product. And if you have an incredible product and you know how to set your business up for the best buyers, why do you need to be able to handle people's rebuttals? My clients don't have rebuttals, not my ideal ones anyway. They don't have rebuttals. They're ready. And if they did have rebuttals, it's rebuttals they have to figure out themselves and with their partners, not with me. I'm not the right person to help them figure those things out. It would be a genuine, extreme conflict of interest for me to be the person that helps them figure out whether they should give me their money or work with me or pay me or buy my thing. Like I am the wrong person for that in my ideal buyer's world. And since I've been operating like this, my company is just constantly generating more and more and more and more and more. Like $1 million a month, which is the average. Sometimes it's $1 million a week. I've had $1 million days, but like $1 million a month is 80, what is it? $33,000 a day. That's what it is. $33,000 a day. $1 million a month is $33,000 a day. $33,000 a day is more than $1,000 an hour, whether I'm awake or I'm asleep. And that's what happens. It's whether I'm awake or I'm asleep because the company operates morning, noon, and night. And that's what I care about helping you create. $1 million brand is not a company that you have to just become really good at superficial things or only good at one thing. Because I don't just want you to have a brand that makes $1 million this year. We've been doing this year after year after year after year. Since the year 2020, when we had our first $1 million month, I've basically had like over $90 million whether it's come in days or weeks. 90 times $1 million has come in since 2020. And different strategies. It's not all the same strategies, because strategies are just fun for you and your business. They're not supposed to be ways of getting people to say yes. It's like people say yes no matter what, but what's the fun thing to do? What keeps it sharp for you? What keeps it exciting for you? And if you're a leader, you care about the longevity of your company. You adapt, you course correct, you better things over and over again. And that's my invitation for you, is to come train yourself at the highest possible level that you can. And then you'll be trained at that level, and then you find your next level. Not because there's a line between success and failure, but because shouldn't the best of our life be yet to come? Shouldn't the best of our business be yet to come? Shouldn't the best of our financial situation be yet to come for all of us? Like, not because I need to succeed by next week or else I failed, because my life should always be that the best is yet to come. And I'm training for that, like a mature, powerful business owner with the identity of building $1 million brand. So as I've shared, this masterclass was for multiple reasons. The first one was because I know for some people the resistance is high to even pay to meet someone or have someone coach you if you've never met them before. And I honor that. I understand that. Like, I get that if you don't know me, if there's a price point on getting to even just hear how I speak or learn from me, is like, well, I don't even know if I click with this person, why would I pay them? So I like having there's no resistance, it's free. At least you get a vibe and you get to decide whether I'm the one to help you get to the next level or not. It makes perfect sense to me. The next thing is that I know that my ideal people are out there. There are women right now all over the world, building businesses that are making $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month, 40, 50, 60, $100,000 a month, $200,000 a month, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 a month, $1 million a month, $2 million a month. This is all over the world. In Europe, in Asia, in freaking Bali, like everywhere all over the world, they're everywhere. In Mexico, and my clients are so next level. I have people watching my things on YouTube with subtitles. Some of my clients don't even speak English as a first language, and they study with me because they're training, and it's with me. They speak German, they don't speak English. They speak Polish, they don't speak English. They speak Japanese or Korean. They don't even speak the same language, but they're watching it on YouTube. I have a global brand. Could it change your life to just know that? If you have a block around people in my country don't buy the product that I wish to sell, then go global. Learn to have a global identity, a global brand. Learn to do it in your energy, in the way that you speak, in the way that you deliver, in the way that you show up. There's a way. I'm from a tiny French-Canadian town, north of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And I was brought up to believe that people do not get rich where I'm from. And then I defy all the odds. And I have clients from Quebec that are slaying the game, that are doing so well, multi-millions. I was just celebrating two of my clients, one who did $1 million last year, another one who did a $2 million launch this month. $2 million launch in Quebec, the very same place I was told people didn't succeed. 3 of us, bloop, plus so many others that exist here that I don't even know of yet and I haven't even been connected to yet, plus others that are doing their own thing. The world is ready for global women of power, women of influence, but we got to train for it. And if you haven't yet learned how to lead yourself, how to take full ownership of your power, to be strong enough to handle failure, to learn from yourself, to learn marketing in a different way, to care about how your business is in the world, to shape your own voice, to shape your own branding, your own marketing. Like, if you can say to yourself, this is what's the most important, then we've got something extraordinary on the horizon. So I want to talk to you about the new program that's coming out for me. It's actually on pre-launch right now. And so what I'm going to do now is going to give you so much permission in your life. It's unbelievable, but I haven't done this in a little while, and I'm going to do it now. I'm going to pre-launch a program, and the reason I'm pre-launching it is because my design team is on vacation. And so in order for me to have exactly what I wanted, it was either I didn't launch it for you, or I waited, or I do it the way I'm doing it right now. And I thought, you know what? This masterclass has been such a permission slip. I've had so many people tell me and message me and say, it's been so good for me to just watch you doing this with your hoodie on in your living room. Like, I can't tell you how beneficial it's been for me to see that you don't need all the bells and whistles. Like, I'm sitting and I'm just glued to the screen and you're sitting there on your iPhone. Like, I don't know where I got it in my head that I was going to need to do all these things in order to be perfect. But this masterclass is hitting home for me. I've already watched the modules multiple times and you're just sitting there in your living room with your hoodie on. Like, you've just changed things for me. And so I want to continue on that tangent. And so this program I'm going to talk to you about right now is on pre-launch. So what does pre-launch mean? It means that even when you're going to see the website for it, it's going to be like, what's on this? What is it? So I'm going to take the time to tell you, because it means the only people in the world who are actually going to know what's in it for now are people who've watched this masterclass. But I'm so excited about this program because I really think it's what the world will get so, like, you guys, you're my world right now, will get so excited about, and what's going to be the next move after this to really get in the zone and really get in the vibe. So what I've decided to do is to create a program that is included, obviously, in my House of Haute Mastermind. So for those of you who are signing up to come to my the Salon Haute, the event that I'm running just to explain what the mastermind is, if you were to sign up for the House of Haute, you would get access to this new program. Any of you who've been considering the Alpha Femme experience will also receive this program. And anyone that's here who bought the Art of Sales program will also receive this program. So it is a program that for me is like, if you are studying with me, the odds that this is something that's going to change your world, I'm at 99%. Like, there's a few people it might not be ideal for, whereas like if you're not the face of your brand and you want to automate most of your things, because I do have clients that want that and they learn other things from me, so for that it might not be the ideal, but for everyone else this is going to be like the greatest thing to do, to think about, to contemplate, to learn from. And I've done it in a way for you guys with the pre-launch that I think is going to be just the greatest offer and the most fun thing to dive into. So this program is going to be about going deeper into everything that we're talking about. Now, I am seeing, where's the Salon Haute link? When we're done at the end of the day, and I send you the replay, I'll send it again, but it's also in last night's replay email. So in last night's replay email, I gave you the link to the House of Haute Salon. I gave you the link to look at the AFE sales page, and I also gave you a link to look at the membership. So if you go in your emails, you'll find it there. And when I send you the replay today, I'll also do that. I'll also be sharing it on my personal page on Facebook. You'll be able to find it. But if Alpha Femme Team's able to respond to anyone asking for things like this, please do if you can. But don't worry about it. They will be in your emails. Okay? So this program that I'm creating for you is a much deeper dive into more of the hands-on part of what we've been talking about during this masterclass. So how do you actually structure your brand? Not just talking about it, understanding it, and giving you stuff to contemplate, but actually bringing up brands and showing you by example and helping you understand what different kinds of brands. I'm going to model mine for sure, but like, how do I utilize social media to sell? How do I use my grid in social media, my story highlights? How do I use my Instagram stories to sell? So how this is different from the Impact Academy program, for example. And I think I actually might include this in Impact Academy as well, now that I'm thinking about this. If you bought Impact Academy for this year, I'll include it in Impact Academy as well. Because Impact Academy is more about how you build the brand, but this is about how you sell with the brand. So it's a really great connection, a really great identity. So for this year, anyone who's buying Impact Academy 2025, we would add this as a bonus as well, okay? So this program is going to be also about what are the communications that you want to have with your people and how do they impact your brand? How to understand the difference between supporting maybe an entry-level person into your world by creating or writing content that's a little bit more introductory without making it feel like you're only speaking to beginners. How to bring in lower cost things as an intro without it devaluing your brand and it looking like you only sell low ticket stuff. How to have a brand that can hold lower ticket, medium ticket, high ticket, and like next level, super high ticket stuff. Like for me, when I have We Are Alpha Femme, that's $222 a month. And then I also have private coaching at $500,000, and the $500,000 a month stuff doesn't stop people from believing they can get value from me. And the $222 thing doesn't stop people thinking they can get value from me. Like, how do you create a global brand? How do you create a global brand and also your brand identity? How to really utilize social media in a way where you're not doing 100 million things and only some of them make an impact, but understanding which ones make an impact. And if I want to do other things, I'm doing those for fun. But if I wanted to just be really matter of fact about it, I could just be doing these particular things and using social media really streamlined. Like, I've had so many different seasons of social media. I've had my whole life shows up and everything I'm doing shows up on social media. And I've also had seasons where it's like none of my private life shows up on social media and it's really just the business and I'm doing it in a really streamlined way. I have so many different angles to show you, and like how to use email as a supportive thing instead of having to rely, how to use social media as a supportive thing, like how to actually get every piece of everything you're doing, supporting every piece of everything you're doing. What I love the most about this program for me though, is that it's actually going to put you in that vibe of like, I'm training, because it is a beautiful balance between, yes, the way I'm talking is always going to have that inspiring aspect because I want you to go and take action, but actionable steps in this one, more hands-on. So for those of you who know the archetypes of the Alpha Femme brand, I talk about the goddess, the badass, and the boss. And so the goddess is like the emotional intelligence. The badass is the one that does what she's got to do. And the boss is the one that gets paid. There's a lot of badass and boss in this program. What do we do? Why do we do it? Kind of pulling the curtain back a little bit and explaining why the things that I'm doing are really working, so that you can look and say, okay, what would that look like if I did it? Based on what I care about, based on what I love, based on my brand, how would I do this? And so it's just the most amazing opportunity for you to go all in your brand and start training to build the brand that you want to be building. And it doesn't matter what level you are, because I'm going to be talking to you at the highest possible level. And so all you need to be doing is training until that feels comfortable. I don't believe in beginners. I believe in people who are training for gold. That's what I believe in, because that's who I speak to. A person who believes they're a beginner will stay a beginner for a very long time. A person who believes they're training for gold will be playing for gold before they know it. And so that's who I'm speaking to regardless. I'm going to be speaking to you as though you're aiming for $1 million months. And it won't be far off, because if you train like you're aiming for that, it won't be long before you're actually playing for that. And I really do believe that, because I've seen it over and over and over and over and over again. But here's the caveat. If when you're listening to me, this doesn't feel possible for you, then you're right. Like, I can't believe it for you. I can just believe it as well. You're either on the same page as me and you're like, Melanie, this is everything I've always known. Or you're like, you think so? Don't do that. I've got smaller offers if you're feeling that. We've got to train your mind, train your nervous system, train your body, train your belief, train your ability to show up, because it's not just going through the motions. I do not believe that it's okay to have people believe that, like, as long as you do the things, you can have the thing. That's not how it works. You've got to train to become the thing and then do the things in the energy of being the things. You've got to be in the God zone when you're doing the thing. And that's when the results start to compound. You've got to be willing to train who you are and what you do and how you receive results. All of that is so important. And I want to really like create a space for you for this. So this program is so freaking cool. And basically the price of it right now is $2,222. That's the price of it. But what I've decided to do for people who watch this masterclass is that when you buy it, I'm going to give you a year in the We Are Alpha Femme membership. So it's going to start in March. So this means you buy it right now. You're immediately going to go in the We Are Alpha Femme membership. And you are going to get to start working on all the stuff I've got in that membership in the meantime. You pay in full, $2,222. That's the only way it's available right now. But you're immediately going to get into the membership. So either you buy House of Oat and you get it. Either you buy AFE and you get it. Or either you buy a year of the membership and you get it. So either way, all the people that are going to be in this are going to be people who are working with me. Not just people who want my secret sauce. Not just people who want to see, like, people who are in, no matter what you're doing. Obviously, the program right now is worth $2,222. If you wanted to do it and not use any of the membership, you can, but I don't recommend it. Programs like Charisma, programs like Broadcast, E3, Woman, Sales Savoir Faire. I've got the most epic content inside of this membership. It's so good, and you get to dive into that right away. So you pay for a year in my membership and you get this program for free. That's the only ways it's available right now. So I can have my team put the link. If you have been paying for We Are Alpha Femme monthly and you're just like, I want to do it, you can just pay in full for a year and you'll get access to this program. So wherever you are, you just add a year and you'll get access to the program right away. So anyone can do it. It's just a matter of being in the membership for a year and getting the program at the same time. And so what I love about this for me is that I get to not just work with you for, the length of the program. I know that I'm invested in the long-term aftermath of your business and of your company. And I think that being surrounded by other people that are building these businesses, it's going to create a really solid network, a really solid community. You're going to learn from other people. You're going to learn from what other people are doing. It's just going to start to feel like a collective experience. And if there's one thing I've heard over and over and over again in my career, is that it becomes easier when we're in the Alpha Femme brand, because it feels like so many people are doing it, that if they can do it, then I can do it, because it's nonstop. People are popping like popcorn. Like, oh my gosh, it just worked for me. And oh my gosh, I just did it. And oh my gosh, it just works. And it's just, you can't stop believing when you're surrounded by that much evidence. And so this program is so cool. The branding, the name of it, it's so cool. I'll be dropping it in your inbox when we're done with this. I'll be sharing the branding on my profile. I'm so excited about a program that is built for people who are building and training for gold. Not people who need to believe they can, people who already believe they can, but now need to train to become it. That's such a different energy, and it's such a different purpose for doing it. So I want to thank you so much for being part of this Woman Incorporated Masterclass. We've got a last draw today. If you have not shared this live stream and you want to be registered for the last draw, you want to share this live stream directly to your social media, make sure you post in the comment section that you have shared so that my team can put you in the draw. But the big picture for me, and what I really wanted when I cast the vision for you to do this, when I said okay, I want to do this program, this masterclass called Women Incorporated, I wanted women to actually understand what it means to have a woman-owned, female-founded company in 2025. The power, the possibility, if you're willing to take yourself seriously. We just need to take each other seriously, ourselves seriously, and be willing to work on what it really takes. Not just the superficial success metrics, not just the carrots that get dangled, not just what it looks like, not just the money, but the identity, the person, the one, the business owner, the woman of the world, the woman of influence, the woman of power, the woman of wealth, the woman who can do it. Not that just did it once and that can never do it again. Not that did it once and burnt out because she only did it for the validation. The woman who did it from the inside out because she became capable of doing it, of becoming it, of holding it. Those are Alpha Femme clients. That is who I'm searching for. And if I was able to reach you through this masterclass, I'm so excited for what we will do together. If you're in a space where you're like, I can't do it, I don't have the 2,222, the one thing that I recommend more than anything is that you start with the We Are Alpha Femme membership. Just come in and stay as long as you can. $222 a month. Come learn, come be in the environment, come train yourself, because every month you pay $222, $111 goes into a credit bank for you. And eventually you will be able to buy the CEO program or whatever program of the Alpha Femme brand feels like it's calling to you. There's so much for me to share with you. I'm on a mission. And I'm so excited for the people who are on that same mission when we find each other and it's just yes, this is what I was looking for. And so don't let resistance to something because of fear stop you. If it's really a no for you, then I honor you and I think you're awesome for following your feelings. That's awesome. But if it's I wish, but I'm scared, the lowest possible thing with a cancel, you can cancel anytime. You just it's your responsibility. Like, you just decide how long you want to stay. There's nothing like that. But if you want the CEO program, you pay in full for a year of We Are Alpha Femme, you join the Alpha Femme experience, or you come into House of Oats. We're going to start at the end of March, and it's going to be an absolute masterpiece. Now, if you have any credit, oh yes, when you pay in full, you get $1,111 of credits immediately. So if there's ever anything else in the Alpha Femme brand you want to buy, you can, or you can kind of use them for other things, but you get a $1,111 right off the hop if you pay in full. If you have any questions, I am here for you. My team is here for you. So you would just message me in my inbox directly. You can respond to the emails we're sending you. You can message us on the We Are Alpha Femme Instagram. Like, we're on all the platforms. So we're here to help you. It will be pretty easy because I'm going to be sending links in your inbox as well. Check out for the replay tonight. It'll take, a few moments for the whole replay to be set up and for me to email it to you, but I'll put all the links in there. And if there's anything missing, you get to come and ask me or my team, and we'll be there for you. So the way I see the membership and how it works is it's like a buffet of 5-star food. And so you can walk in and say, you know what I'm struggling with right now, what I really would love to talk about right now is manifestation and visualization. Okay, I'm going to watch the E3 Masterclass. What I really want to work on right now is my personality, my charisma, my personal charisma, like who I am in this world and what my angle is that's authentically me, and learn how to shine that out into the world. I'll watch the charisma program that's hosted in the We Are Alpha Femme experience, or in the We Are Alpha Femme membership. I want to learn to sell. I want to do sales savoir-faire, or I want to learn sold. Those are 2 things that are in the membership. I want to learn broadcast and learn about the power of the voice and being able to really broadcast my voice. I want to be able to learn, like, you'll see all the masterclasses and the programs that are hosted in that membership. You have immediate access. So any day that it feels like this is the thing, you can tap into that. But on top of that, every few weeks I'm live in there, or Jack is live in there, Jacqueline. We're giving constant new things, deep dives, Q&As. Like, there's always reasons to connect in there and to add more and more and more. So that's just what's already there, plus whatever's created this year. So it's a gold mine. It's really an amazing space to be in. And then the Alpha Femme experience is the core programs. So that's where, like, the best of what I've created that's complete. When I think of money, exponential wealth, Femme Fatale for feminine energetics. When I think of the identity work program, when I think of the God Zone, when I think of Impact Academy and the art of leadership and the art of sales, like all those big programs, those are all in the Alpha Femme experience. And then the difference with House of Oat is that you get the whole Alpha Femme experience, you get the membership, you get all the things, but then it's a mastermind with me and women of all over the world. And I'm in there multiple times a week. I'm coaching, and we're going deep, and you're coming in and I'm coaching you, and you get the programs, but that's application only. So I'm going to spend more time explaining what that is on Le Salon Haute. That's going to happen on Monday. I'll give you the information about that in your email as well. But that is basically how it works. Now, in a couple of days from now, I will probably be doing I will be doing a final draw, because there's also people that are going to share on the replay. So I want to do the draw for the end of the day today, and then there will be one big final draw, and I'm going to give you the information on exactly when that's going to be, and we'll join together on my personal page in a few days from now, and we'll do one more draw. So if you continue to share over the next few days, if you're watching the replay, that will give you a chance to enter that draw. So We Are Alpha Femme is either, the membership is $222 a month, or if you pay in full, $2,222 for the year. And when you do that, you, it's actually not Monday, it's Tuesday, my apologies. Okay, so let me make this very clear right now. If you join We Are Alpha Femme, this is the membership, it's $222 a month. You can cancel it anytime or stay in it forever, or you can just pay in full for a year at $2,222. And right now, that'll give you access to CEO that starts on March 31st. That's the program that's coming up. Then the other option is to do the Alpha Femme experience. This is like my flagship offer. This is the thing, my wish and dream is that you are able to make it. So you can either spend $1,444 a month. So if you have a business where you could get one client that pays for that, I really suggest that's the one. Like $1,444 a month, or you pay in full and it's 14,444, whatever is better for you. And then House of Haute is $2,000 a month, or $20,000 if you pay in full, but that one is going to be going up in price on February 1st. So it goes up to 25,000. So that one's going up in price, but the two others are not going up in price, and you can join at any time. So there's no like the doors are closing or anything like that. The only one caveat is House of Haute goes up in pricing, but we will have an opportunity for the salon before that. So the House of Haute salon is happening on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I will put all of that in your email. Okay, this is awesome. So Kevin, how are we doing on the shares?
We're actually almost caught up. We got 3 of us going on. It's been insane.
Okay, almost caught up, and then we're gonna go with the draw. So if you want the links for something right now while we're live and the Alpha Femme team is in here, you can ask for them. I've seen a couple of people ask for, oh yeah, February 1st is in the past. I meant March 1st. Najma, I'm getting very excited. The 1st of March, not the 1st of February. You're right, that is in the past. Okay, is there anything else that I'm not saying or that I'm not saying correctly at this point? The drum rolls are already occurring. And this draw will be for $7,777 in Alpha Bucks, you guys.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, are we ready? Yes, I meant March 1st. Thanks, Jen. My apologies for that.
There's so many shares.
Well, that's good. I like so many shares.
Crazy.
Okay, so the winner of 7,777
Is... I'm gonna let you do that whole one.
is Marta Mielcarek. Marta Mielcarek, you win $7,777 in Alpha Femme dollars. You can use this towards any program, masterclass, Alpha Femme experience, House of Haute, whichever one floats your boat. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. And yes, I'm seeing Samiha asking if I'm already in Art of Sales. I already get CEO. Yes. So if you bought Art of Sales, you do get CEO as part of your package. So that is fantastic news. So if there's a link that you want, you can absolutely request it in the comment section. But as soon as the replay is sent to your inbox, it will be sent with all of the links. So that will be very helpful. But if you're impatient, you're like, I want it now, then you can message me directly on Instagram, message me directly on Facebook, or respond to any email you've ever had from me, and the team will give you what you need. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. I hope if you have a moment, you can continue to watch this and get more and more from it. Like I've had a lot of feedback from some of my women, even in like the House of Haute mastermind, watching this and being like, I don't know if people actually understand what you're telling them. And I'm like, well, some people get it. And for some people, there's a gap still because they don't realize what they're capable of. So when I'm speaking, it's like some of it is landing and some of it is not, and that's okay. But if you can get in the vibe of actually believing the bigness of who you are, no matter how big you've succeeded already, you know, and I speak to everyone, but the people I'm really thinking of when this is coming out of my mouth right now is like, if you've done the thing where you've made like 10 or 20 or $30,000 in your business, you've done the hardest thing. For me, it was harder to make my first 10K because it meant so much, like believing that I could start something, believing that I could build something, that people would actually find me or pay me, that it was like there were so many things to overcome. As soon as I could see like, oh my gosh, people are paying me. Like this is how it ended up happening. In 2018, at the beginning of the year, so Alpha Femme had existed for like 6 months. We start the new year. I have my first month, it's like a $20-something thousand month. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy. I'm so freaking out. You know, February, same kind of thing, $20,000 month, $30,000 month. March, same kind of thing. April, $30,000, $40,000 month. And it's all in that range until we hit the summer and I hit a $50,000 month in my business in like July or something. And I just was like, oh my gosh, can you imagine if I start making $50,000 a month? Like, what is my life? That's $600,000 a year. That's like, I'm making more than a brain surgeon or a lawyer. Like I couldn't even fathom it. It felt unbelievable. And I got this series of events that led me to lead a money program, the first ever money program I had ever done. And I had resistance to it at this point because I was like, is $50,000 a month enough to teach money? I'm not a millionaire yet. Like, I haven't made $1 million. Like, am I even allowed to teach money? There was a lot of resistance, but I did my first ever money program. I only let 33 people in. It sold out like this. And I ran my first round of exponential wealth. And I lived by this program. Next thing, I'd had $100,000 a month, $150,000, $160,000, $180,000 a month. And by the end of 2018, 14 minutes before midnight, we crossed $1 million in my business. We went from $20,000 per month to $1 million for the year, in a year. And I didn't have the goal. Like, I didn't believe that was possible in January. I wasn't hustling for it or trying for it. It's just the way that I led my company changed. A lot of what I'm going to teach you in CEO, like a lot of what we're going to do, even a lot of what we kickstarted here in the Women INC Masterclass. Going from working for me and making money in a business to leading something and building a brand. Like, that was such a huge differentiating factor for me that changed so much. So I really want to encourage you, no matter where you are in your business, like, it does get to grow. If you had a 6-figure month and you're freaking out and you're so grateful, so when I left for Hawaii in 2020, in January, I was having a 6-figure month, $200,000 month, $300,000 month. And then by September, we'd had $1 million month. And then we had a 1.5 million or a 1 point something million, a 2 million. And next thing you know, we'd finish the year at like $8.5 million. And then it kept going the whole year after and after and after and after and after. And it just kept going. And so it's like, no matter where you are, there is growth available. It's just sometimes hard to believe it can get better than this, especially when it's inconsistent, and that is very important. I want to tell you everything. I have so much I want to share with you, and I've loved the participation in this masterclass, but inconsistency in your business is actually not a bad thing. If you can see what your highest days are, you can calibrate. Like, I remember thinking to myself, whenever I would have a $3,000 day, it's like $3,000 a day, if I do $3,000 a day, every day, that would be $100,000 a month almost, 3,300 something a day. Like, looking at the highest number you've ever done and looking, if that were consistent, what would it look like? And raising the higher number. Like, I've had $1 million day, but I didn't have 30 of them in the same month, but that month still ended up being like a multi-million-dollar month with $1 million day inside of it. Like, not having the pressure that everything is equal and everything is stable. Let yourself ebb and flow. Let it be this crazy thing where some days of the month you have huge numbers and you're able to hold the vibe for lower ones, and it doesn't all have to be equal. Like, stretch your nervous system, stretch your capacity. There's so many of us doing it, but it takes work, not just in getting the amount, but in creating the businesswoman, woman incorporated, female founder companies, the kind of people who can hold and grow this kind of influence, power, wealth, not just to make it once, but to hold it and duplicate it for the world. Because if there's one thing the world needs right now, it's more women in power, more women of influence, more women of the world, more women of change, more global brands with people who can own it, that they own a big business, not a little business, that they're not trying, that they're training, that they're not hoping, they're creating. More conviction, more power, more knowing that this is working no matter what, because you're the one leading it. There is no other way. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. It has been a treat for me. I've loved every second. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for everything. If you do end up sharing between now, in the next few days, there will be a last draw. So if there's anything you haven't shared yet, if you're still catching up, there's still some time. And then I'll let you know by email when we're going to have the final draw. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm so grateful. Thanks for everything. And I shall see you on the internet.